Alright, today we are replacing the drain pump mower on this washing machine. Let's go ahead and dig into it. Okay, here's everything we're using. Just have a towel just to clean up some spills. Regular Phillips head screwdriver. Set of pliers. These are kind of a nice to have, but not a mandatory. This is to help you take the spring off of the gasket. And then of course the replacement motor. I've put a link below in the description to everything I'm using here. Alright, go ahead and make sure you've unplugged it and turned off the water supply. Next, go ahead and remove this bottom screw and this bottom screw. With those screws removed, grab here, pull that back about an inch or so. Go ahead and lift this top up. Next, we're going to remove the detergent drawer. Pull that out, push right here, and that will come out. There's a screw here, go ahead and remove those. Alright, next order of business, you're going to be taking this front panel off. There's little locking tabs in here. Fold off like that. Once you have that removed, just go ahead and set it up on the top here. Alright, the next order of business is to remove this gasket. And there's a spring around here. And this tool definitely makes it a lot easier, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so the nice thing about this tool is you can just insert it in the spring, just span it out a little bit. If you don't have this tool, you can just use a pair of channel locks to pull it apart, but this definitely makes it a lot easier. Alright, once you have that gasket ring off, just go ahead and take this gasket and separate it from the front cover. You can see here there's a little drain. Now's a good time to go ahead and open that up and just clean it out. It's definitely a good idea to clean this tube out. A lot of gunk hangs out in there. Next, go ahead and pop this open. There's a little drain tube right here. There may be water left in here, so go ahead and drain this into a container. Okay, once you've drained that, there's a screw in the bottom and a screw up top here. Go ahead and unscrew those. Okay, with these two out, the housing will just slide out. Alright, the last screw you want to take out is the one here at the bottom. Alright, we've got 3 screws on the left hand side. There's 3 screws there. Alright, you can see the front panel here is loose. Make sure you disconnect the door switch. Go ahead and remove your door. Okay, this is the housing where the pump is. We're first going to go ahead and disconnect this drain hose. Alright, so now that you have this drain hose disconnected, go ahead and disconnect this drain hose. Some of these have Phillips here holding us in, but this one has some 10mm bolts in here. There's 3 of them. Go ahead and unscrew those. Alright, so I've got the assembly out. This is where the pump is housed. Let's go ahead and disconnect the wires here. Alright, now that you have this pump assembly out, go ahead and remove these 2 screws. This front one here. I'll take the assembly off of this bracket and go ahead and remove this bottom screw. Alright, so go ahead and slide that out. You can see there's a lip here and a lip there, and you just kind of want to fold that up. Okay, so there's your bad pump. There's 2 screws holding that in. Go ahead and remove those 2 screws. And there's the bad pump. Okay, let's go ahead and put the new pump in. Okay, the pump is back on. Let's attach this cover. Go ahead and put this screw back in. Alright, now that those 3 screws are in, let's go ahead and attach the pump back to this bracket. Alright, with those 3 screws connected, we're going to go ahead and reconnect the electrical connections here. Alright, once you have this pump assembly back together, let's go ahead and place it back in here. I'm going to need 2 hands because I got to push this drum up to get it in there. Alright, the assembly's back in. I'm now going to reattach these 2 hoses. Alright, so we've got both the brackets reinstalled. Let's go ahead and start putting the front cover back on. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall this while I have access to it. All right, time to reattach the front. You want to make sure you're in those 3 lips here. And as you're putting this front on, you want to make sure you clip this back in. Next, install this bottom screw right here. Next, you can put this housing back on. Put the 2 screws back in. So your first step is to make sure this gasket is nice and flush. You want to go around and push it in. Make sure it's in there firm. Now getting the spring on is a little difficult. I'll show you how to do this. Kind of want to start initially by putting the wire in this back groove right here. Do that partially. Then you want to take your spanner, put it in here, give that a good squeeze. Make sure the wire's in the groove all the way around. You want to make sure you do not release this until the wire's fully in the groove. Okay, it's fully in the groove. Release. Okay, we're in there. Next, go ahead and put this front cover back on. You can see there's little slots here that these little lips go in. And it'll clip in the back here. Okay, you want to make sure these clips are in. Next, you want to put these 2 screws back in. Once those 2 screws are in, go ahead and place your detergent tray back in there. Okay, last step is to slide this on. Go ahead and turn your water back on, plug it in, and let's try a test load. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button.